look like crap. I just got done traveling from Dallas and then I was up at Keystone. I just got out of the shower. Oh man, I hurt my nose removing. Oh my gosh, it got even bigger. Okay, well, we got lots to do. Lots to do. Just trying to get this so I can set this up. So I just got out of the shower, hence the crazy hair. I put on whatever I could wear. Come on. Come on, I can get this. Bear with me. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Let's get started. Okay, look at this. It looked like Rudolph the fucking reindeer. Oh my god. All right. Should we try to extract it? It hurts. It's not coming out. It really hurts. All right, we're gonna have to leave it. So I feel like crap. I was in Dallas last week for a hair show, and then I went to Keystone with my hubby. I really shouldn't be using this, but I need some sort of moisture on my skin. This is my vitamin C. This is like my nighttime moisturizer, but my skin is so dry right now. Oh my god. And so I was at the hair show, and I am so happy to be home because I cannot handle some of the personalities that were there. Here we go. Elf moisturizer. This is my travel one, but I need moisture. It was kind of like being at the show. There was people there. They think that they're like famous. No joke. That they're Beyonce because they're a hairstylist and they have over 100,000 followers. Well, I have over 100,000 followers on Instagram. And mind you, I do not think I'm Beyonce. And so I think it was just so draining having to be around all those people that think because of their followers, they are famous. And then they have this like self-entitlement to them. I'm now using Revolution makeup. Love, love, love this stuff. It feels like skincare but foundation. So yeah, the personalities was just so much to deal with. And then there was a lot of shit behind the scenes that was going on that I can't talk about here. One day I can, but we're not going to talk about here. And needless to say, I am happy to be home, and I don't want to travel to a hair show for a little while. I want to like explore my social media more as me. I feel like I've become just like a influencer hairstylist, which is fine, but I don't want to be just that. There's so much more to me. So that is my goal to coming on here. And so I think I'm going to start doing where I get ready and I talk about stories of like my life. So let's get into it. I grew up like your typical American family in the 80s. I had like the stay-at-home mom. My dad was your typical working dad. Like he was always gone. Always gone. And we lived in this cul-de-sac, and we lived in this house that I'll never forget because it was just like, you know, that first house you live in when you're growing up? It was that. It was everything to me. There was a little dollhouse out back. Being in the cul-de-sac, I had all my friends there. Like, if you want to talk about like happy days growing up, that was my happy days growing up. And I remember my parents just fighting all the time. And I'm not talking little fights. I'm talking like all out screaming, yelling. My mom would take our belongings and throw all of our stuff into her van. And then she would take off and we'd go to our grandparents' house. And this went on until I was in 3rd grade. And then in 3rd grade, I remember my parents getting in the most epic fight. Like they fought, they were yelling, they were screaming. And then nosy me and my sister, we were told to go outside by them. We did not want to go outside. And we snuck back in, and that's when we heard that they wanted to get a divorce. And that was like the start of the ending of all of it. My life as I knew it completely crumbled and changed after that day. I went from like having your typical American kid life to my life turned into a living hell. And I'm still trying to grasp what I went through. And so coming on here, it's going to be like my thing, because I have therapy with my clients where I sit there and I talk about it and I go live. But I feel like if I come on here and I go live and talk about my story, I'll be able to connect and relate. Anyways, as I was saying, so my parents' divorce was probably one of the messiest divorces you could ever think of. I didn't know at the time, because I was in 3rd grade when they got a divorce, that my mom was a raging alcoholic. No idea. And their divorce was a mix of many things. My mom was accusing him of cheating. He was accusing her of that. There was money. We had 3 horses. And my dad told me that he sat down with my papa, my mom's dad, and looked at the finances. Girl was spending a lot on those horses. Mind you, I grew up riding horses, and my best friend growing up, her dad was our horse trainer. And so I didn't mind it, but she was spending a lot. We had, our 3 horses were Kariba, Fancy Man, and Shondi. And then once the divorce happened, I remember our like my treasured family house, they were prepping for us to sell so we could move out. And then during this time, I remember my dad not being at the house. And then all of a sudden, he came to my school to pick me up for after school. And then he was taking me shopping. I was like, this is cool. And so I go out shopping with my dad. And my mom calls the cops saying he kidnapped us. And then that was the downward spiral. After that, I remember going to countless therapy sessions. And then my mom put us in the women's protection program. And then we went to the women's shelter quite a lot. And I just didn't understand any of this. None of this was explained to me. So you're hearing like what I heard. And then I remember we lived in like a hotel for like weeks. For weeks. We lived in a hotel. And I did not know why we lived in a hotel. But I know we would go to my school, because I was in 3rd grade, and we would get my homework. I remember my teacher being very upset with my mom about like pulling us girls from school, because there was me and my older sister pulling us from schools. And we get our homework and we go back to the hotel. And we just kind of lived there. And then the next thing I know, I remember my horses, they were all sold except for Kariba. And so we had Kariba. She was like the jam, because my bestie, her dad was our horse trainer. So when we would leave the hotel, we would go to her house, which was the stables. And I'd get her to see Kariba, I would get a ride. And it was like, that was my piece, was being out with the horses. And one day Kariba was moved. I didn't understand why. Supposedly, my dad wanted to cause harm on her. I didn't know why. Now when I look back, it's because my mom was like in a psychosis from her drinking. And none of us had any idea. So Kariba got moved to some property, and even like her papers were put into my papa's name. And we weren't allowed to see her. All I knew is that my mom told me that my dad wanted to do something awful to my horse, wouldn't tell us what. And then after that, we were allowed to start seeing my dad again. And we sold our family house. We moved in, this was 4th grade, we moved in with a family friend. And they just had 1 bedroom for us. In this 1 bedroom, we had my mom, my sister, myself, our 2 dogs. And my mom and my sister shared a bed, and I slept on the floor. And I got moved schools, and I remember how embarrassing it was because I was going to like the rich kid school. No joke, I was the rich kid. And I was now a kid sleeping on the floor. The dogs got fleas. There was fleas everywhere. And I was so miserable, so miserable. And mind you, I was in 4th grade, so I was only 9 years old, and I had no idea what was going on. And then my mom ended up finding a house for us. She got us a townhome, and we moved to the townhome. And then this is when I realized my mom was an alcoholic. I didn't know what the term was, but that's when I started to find like her alcohol bottles. That's when she got a DUI with us in the car. That's kind of when everything really, really started to take like a dark turn. And I'll get into all of that more, but we are almost done. So that is the start of the story of me and getting ready. I'll give you guys glimpses of it. All right. And I have my little puppy down here trying to talk to you guys. Oh, that lighting's so much better right there. Is he? She's so cute. Okay, guys, make sure you're subscribed. I will do these stories. You will see me live in my studio. You will get tons of content, shorts. See myself behind me. Have a beautiful day. Bye, people.